why would I or someone dress up in such a way instead of the jeans t-shirt, right?
My guest today is my dear friend Edu, spiritual entrepreneur, fashion designer, DJ.
I never thought I would be a DJ either. I never wanted to be a DJ.
Today we talk about radical self-expression.
If your soul would scream through every cell of your body, how that would look like? Can you answer that for yourself?
I asked a question that many was afraid to ask. My subconscious mind projecting on myself back, saying that you are like a peacock here to attract women and get sex. We go really deep in all things self-expression, have lots and lots of fun, but it is very, very serious conversation, so please enjoy. How do you choose your clothes? You go to a shop and you like meditate and you're like, what do you do? Hey guys, Anatoly here. Before we continue, a quick ask. I know you're enjoying the show. I would like to bring bigger guests, and the best way you can help me is please subscribe, because it helps me to get more reach and give us all more opportunity to learn from the best in the world. I really appreciate you. Now let's go back to the show. Welcome to Soul to Soul. My guest today is Edu. This is the second time on the podcast. Spiritual Entrepreneur, Ecstatic DJ, plays around the world, all around the world. An amazing guy, looks great, always new looks. He's just a nice guy. So we're talking today about everything, about sex, woman, ecstatic dancing, psychedelics apparently, and how he's very sensitive to caffeine. Welcome.
Thank you. A pleasure to be back, my bro, and to have this podcast and reconnecting a friend level as well, and sharing our mutual respect and project developments here in Bali.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're growing your brand with like high speed now. Now you have a boutique, you have those retreats you do. So what has changed from the time that we met last time, which was about a year ago, to now?
Good question. So at that time, I was initiating the final step of a transition coming from technology, which is my background. Completing that from the Silicon Valley aspect to going fully into this lifestyle business, right? And then I was really focusing only on the event part, which we grew very nicely last year. And then this year, since we opened the boutique on Christmas, so we are now going way more into the lifestyle format with the boutique in Ubud first. We're opening the second one here in the next few months, hopefully a third one early next year. So this is one, and also like putting a little bit music back. As an entrepreneur, sometimes we can put too much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we put that into something like music or spirituality, it can become a sensitive topic. So I'm putting a little bit less pressure on there and turning into more a fulfillment pathway and an artistic channel for my sole purpose. While the fashion, it's becoming more kind of the main financial drive force and the other aspects that will be unfolding after that.
Okay, cool. Let's go deep. I'm talking more and more people soul to soul now. So spirituality is interesting. Everybody understands it completely differently. So you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you have a soul purpose, spiritual path. What is it for you? Like, what's spirituality?
That's a big question, right? I think the concept, to me, it's an ever-evolving concept, because the more I personally dive into that, more layers have been I have been discovering, right? So, for example, just as an example of that, yesterday night, after finishing work, I had dinner, and then I was at home just watching studies about spirituality in a way. And the kind of studies that I was diving into it was what abilities beings from 4 or 50 dimensions have it that we don't have it.
All right.
And also beyond that, right? So I wouldn't be studying that years ago, and that's like a new layer emerging into my kind of studies, right? Yeah.
You have to believe in fifth dimensional beings before studying fifth dimensional beings.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. So it's an ever evolving concept. That being said, especially with this example, I think it's the ongoing path of self-discovery, right, and self-awareness, which is basically very one is a byproduct of the other one. So that is for me, right? And I've been now, let's call it like about between 10 to 15 years in this path, and many different formats I have dived into it, right? I started more with like entrepreneurship, kind of brought me my first self-discovery, finding ways to uncover limiting layers that evolved into backpacking in Europe, and then later on kind of, the self-care that became self-development came in with yoga and kind of like creative theater, and then I went to Silicon Valley. That's when things got kind of exponential, with Burning Man, with ayahuasca, ecstatic dance, daily yoga practices, and kind of like conscious community, which was my first time getting in touch with that over there. And then changed my life, and then I got nomadic, and things just got very diversified with shamanism, with tantra, with with like social impacts, and with vipassana and all those things. So I think it's the path of self-discovery, and maybe even better than that, if we go deeper, a path of self-remembrance.
Remembering who you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 5-dimensional beings we have to talk about. I think
that's quite fresh for me.
You started that train. So tell me, what did you learn?
Very interesting, right? So first he talks about the 3D, which is where most of us are living at.
Who's that?
Who's
the book? Like
there was a YouTube thing.
YouTube guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But because I had a friend that was living in my villa, and he was even more energetic than me. He's
Okay.
like a Kundalini
Yep.
specialist. So he started talking a lot about this, like other dimensions, and then I was like, okay, it's coming to my field. Let me study more. And just a quick parenthesis here. That was already a byproduct of a reflection, right? Which reflection I'm meaning? Last year I dove very deep into the system, the dark system that ruled the world, like all the controlling powers.
Okay.
And then that was in a way depressive to me.
Yep.
Just like, I couldn't stop going further. I love understanding the mechanism of society.
That's a hole if you go to. You can go really deep and
Very.
Yeah.
Oh God. And I went. I read several books. I watched all documentaries, and I was like, okay, I understood. Not necessarily was very inspiring.
I can imagine. I just read George Orwell 1984 for like 10th time last week, and fuck.
It's unfolding in front of us, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I got to that place where I was like, fuck, right? And then, okay, it's so large, and it's so deep, and it's so strong. What could be the one thing that would, combat that in order to make me feel that relief of, oh, we are fine? I didn't know, but I knew I would need that. So I surrendered, and I was like, okay, something will come up, right?
Yeah.
And then in the mastermind, by the way, Anatoly and I met in a mastermind group in Ubud about a year and a half ago. And this podcast was maybe also a supportive mechanism for this, right?
100%.
As well, my boutique was also supported by the mastermind.
Join the mastermind. It's not exist anymore, but
Right? Shall we do a mastermind together?
Yeah. Only $9.99. Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh. So I started another mastermind here in Canggu.
Yeah.
And then in those processes, one of our friends, which works with plant medicine, right? And we're talking about this. Long story short, I started studying about non-duality through different spiritual paths.
What's non-duality?
It believes or it experiences coming all from this oneness aspect, right? And the ripple effects of believing or living by those principles.
I see. Okay.
Right? Because, like here in Asia, it's very good because there is this duality, right? Dark and light in Bali and all of that. And I was like, what happened to me as I studied that, I was like, wow, there is so much darkness in the system. right? And for so long, and they're really prepared to keep dominating. What is the thing that will face that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say that it was always like that.
exactly.
So, I mean, there's nothing new here.
Yeah.
There's always was authoritarian regime is actually the first regime that existed. Democracy, the way we think about it, is like very new thing.
It's a propaganda, right? There is not a really democracy thing.
Yeah, but it never was that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but that's the thing. So what has changed it is our level of awareness,
Yeah.
right? But then also there is, of course, the global awakening happening. But I was like, okay, but these all and what can actually relieve this agony that was inside of me? And then non-duality came. So I got books and studies into non-duality through Bufo Various, the 5-MeO-DMT shamanic medicine.
Yeah.
And then I got one through Kundalini work, right? I'm very familiar with the energy. And I got another one from kind of like a Westerner Hindu pathway.
Okay. Yeah.
Just 3 different things. And then I started reading, I was like, oh, God. Thanks, God, I found something that can mirror that and it's beyond that.
Yeah.
Right? Which is basically through the non-duality understanding that, all comes from the oneness, all of this, right? And this is just a cosmic play of it. And even the darkness, right? The deep state or whatever, they are actually, the reason, the necessary, maybe one of the necessary reasons to create such a polarity in the duality aspect. The amount of darkness will provoke huge amount of light emerging.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so we are creating this naturally as a cosmic play in order to keep evolving because that's our natural birth as one state of consciousness.
Yeah. This is very interesting.
Yeah. So that relieved that.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody, like, for me, I'm actually changing my understanding of spirituality more and more. I think if you live in a place like Bali, you're getting all those different practices and all the people, and then you are like, the same as like in the West, you're conditioned in one way.
Yeah.
I believe living here, you're conditioned in a completely opposite way.
Yep.
But I start to understand more that it's just conditioning in different senses, but essentially it can be the same thing.
In what way?
Well, here's your condition that you need to get mortgage, and the cool thing is to get a job and a nice car.
Yeah.
And here's condition that you need to explore yoga and tantra and all the other things. While people find happiness in one, and some people do not fit in, and people find happiness in the other and don't fit in. So it's like, and I'm thinking like, where does it come from, right? I was talking to somebody on the podcast here who is like, everything we try to do is to be in control. So even the fact that we believe, let's say, in a past lives, and I don't know if it's true or not, like, I'm actually more of like, I had a lot of psychedelic experiences for me to just, I don't know. But I like the argument that even that is for you to be able to be in control. You don't want to know that when you die, you're not in control. So subconsciously, you're creating stories that you don't know are true, but you're believing in them because it's the same as religion, right?
Right.
It's way better to believe that something will happen when you die than not, because then you're completely not in control, like you just don't exist. And that's like a sad story. That was interesting.
Interesting, yeah. So you were saying that, okay, it's all for... Okay, I have an observation on that. May I share it? This is a curiosity, right?
Yeah.
So before we started the podcast, by the way, we were talking about surrender and talking about let go, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's a way. If you envision like that, actually, some people, and I would actually put myself, I haven't had a lot of clarity in other lives, right? Myself, that's not necessarily how I experience much, but through understanding that or believing in that or studying that, it actually allows me to release more of control and fear.
Or you want to be in control knowing that there is more, knowing that there is light. knowing that you're not, knowing that there is some path.
Mm.
There is some light at the end of the tunnel. So, and then that, to me, that's like you're trying to control the negative part, saying there is a positive part.
Mm.
Could be. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's one way. The other way could be a remembrance.
Remembrance of who you were in a past life, or remembrance
truth.
who we are.
Of truth.
I mean, truth is also a pretty subjective thing. For some people, truth is, I don't know, that
Correct.
truth is that Stalin is the best guy in the world, and for some people, truth is that you need to have tantric sex with 5 people, not one, and for some people, that you need to live in a cave and be a Buddhist monk.
Yeah. No, that's sure. I was talking from the ultimate truth,
Mm-hmm.
which is the like
I
everything comes from.
really don't know. I mean, just those
Yeah.
thoughts from that podcast keep on coming in. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
am I just trying to control things? Am I just being like, it's like an ego kind of thing where you try to say, okay, everything has a bigger purpose?
Yeah.
Is that for me trying to justify that the life has a meaning or not?
right?
And actually, both ways can be true
For sure.
because we don't know.
Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting. I'm more and more sort of, I don't know.
Yeah. That I completely resonate with the purpose, or it's maybe purposeless, but the life, right? The previous one that I'm curious to reflect is the control aspect. That, because eventually that can also be a projection of the the control that you might have experience with,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, oh, people that are doing that kind of, let's say, multidimensional thing, or past life, or whatever the path or studies, they are doing that so they can control more, right? So if we break down the narrative of this storyline that I just reflected from your words, it's it's pointing fingers. People that do that, number one. Number two, it's probably projecting something that is alive within you, which is control. Two, and then because there is something that is yet to be more discovered or integrated in your life, which is, let's say, this very esoteric kind of spiritual work, whatever, because it's not something that it has it fully landed within yourself yet, you separate from, like, okay, if they do that, it's because they're doing for control, which is something alive within you and all of that, right? In Tantra, we do a lot of this, like, the shadow work aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
We very often judge the others by something that we haven't yet fully integrated for whatever is the reason. So, yeah, I have a curiosity to have you letting me know how that lands a few days later.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I am more of the camp that I don't know, but I do see. We talked with this person about Ubud, and there's a cool story how he wore the crystals and did all the things, and then at one point he got so much into positivity. He's like, I just want to kill myself because I like the way I think now. It's just destructive. And I'm like, yeah, it's very common, right? Everything is positive, everything is good. You don't process any emotions. And we had that whole discussion. I'm like, there's a lot of it around where we try to escape from trauma, from problems, to give meaning to other things. And we're like, okay, I'm going to just follow that path because it's safe for me. I don't want to process anything and I want to go. And it leads to also the same results. You're still unhappy.
Yeah.
So, but whatever people choose, I think they're happy. It's good.
Yeah, for sure.
But my kind of thing is nobody knows, but some people, they like feel that they do. And that is like, yeah, but I mean, you can feel it, you can believe in it, but you don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? So we don't know. And then I think there are two kind of people if we break that down. There are people that don't know and know that we don't know. And there are people that don't know, but they don't know that they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So if we bring that into practical terms to two kind of people, it's like people that understand that there is a greater mystery.
Yeah.
Right? Understand and know that. And by knowing that, we release the need of more control or whatever thing, because we understand that we can only accept and embrace it.
Yeah.
Right? Our mental has limited resources to fully grasp everything. So that's one.
Yeah.
And then there is the other one, which is people that don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. So what they do, they reject. Like clearly we don't know, so they can reject in different ways. They outsource to science that's been now very clear, that's been so manipulated for so long, right? And like whatever science tell me on television, that's what I'm gonna believe, or whatever religion tell me in the old book, I'm gonna believe, or I'm not gonna actually even touch that topic, because if they touch it, it's for X thing, which is gonna be their own specific projection.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the two kinds of people.
Yes.
Right? You could, if we would title them, how would you title them?
I don't know. I don't know how to title people. I just know that you know how if you go outside of Bali, let's say, and you go to Australia. I was in Australia recently. And you're like, oh, these people driving these fucking Teslas, and they just all complain about mortgage and stuff. And you're like, oh, they don't know. Then you come here and like people are walking bare feet and look like Jesus. And you're like, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, at one point I'm like, I guess somebody's happier than the other. Yeah. But this is like you subscribe to a tribe and you act as a tribe. So I start to like just see it's very similar in many ways.
Yep.
You have your ceremonies. I go to have mortgage. I go this. Here's I have cacao ceremony. And I go to Edu's ecstatic dance, for example.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it's going to not go live tomorrow, but yes.
Yeah.
Come to the next one. He's really good. But what I'm saying is that it's very similar.
Yeah, I agree. For me, there is one subtle yet vital difference, right? Which is choice, conscious choice.
Well, I consciously want to build a house and I buy a mortgage, no?
Unlikely if that's the only path they have, they subscribe into it and they follow that linear path.
Okay.
Right? Because like, how can you know that you know, like you like something else if you only done that one same thing your entire life in that same way that was being presented and propagated to you so heavily now and for so long, hundreds of years?
Yeah, but it's lack of awareness. Yes, it's lack of awareness that there is another choice. But then I think that a lot of people who go on the other route and become what people call hippies, whatever this word means, they do it from also lack of choice because they don't fit in.
Yeah, I've been a hippie. I was reflecting recently, and I had a period that I was like, now that I look back and I'm living this Bali life, I was like, my family was right. I was quite hippie at that time.
Okay.
I was like, because I was still working with Silicon Valley and making Silicon Valley money, but living a hippie life, right? Like I remember the year before pandemic, I had a tent in my bag and I was with a carry-on, and then I spent about 200 days around festival lifestyles and stuff like that, and then I would have my tent in my bag and I would open and stuff like that.
Amazing.
That's quite hippie, right? I guess. Yeah.
I mean, some people call me hippie. I would not call myself hippie, but
I wouldn't call you. Yeah, it's a spectrum, right?
Yes.
To like an extent of hippie and materialist. Are we?
If you put me into the office, I'll be hippie. If you put me in Bali, I'm like an office guy in Bali.
Exactly. Same when I go to Bud, I am like, business guy.
Really?
Big time.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, in the conscious community, yes.
Really?
Yeah, oh,
Wow,
big time.
amazing. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a spectrum game.
I thought you would fit in right in wherever you come in, like Ubud or Canggu, on those like spiritual communities. You would be like,
But that's the
this
thing.
is our dude.
Correct. I fit very well in the spirit community, and what most stand out to people is what is less presented in the community. And the very spiritual community in Ubud tends to be way less entrepreneurial than, let's say, in other places. So it's just, again, the standout element.
Yeah, because you are making money and building businesses while being a spiritual hippie. To some extent.
Less hippie nowadays, but yes. We're addressing what was that before the hippie element.
I was talking that
I wanted to. That was like the two kinds of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I have this element, and you know, and the fashion is also a representation of that, right? Cause like the recent business fashion, right, that I start building right now, and it's going nicely, and you know, it's also a way to. How can I say, like, you were talking like it's
radical self-expression.
Yes, right, and some people also judge that.
I definitely judge it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about it for the next hour. So
Okay.
That's a good segue. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a good way. I judge it in a good way.
Exactly. And I used to judge a little bit more when I was in the very hippie. I was still like a little bit because of so many Burning Mans that I done, back then.
Every day you look like you're in a Burning Man. Burning Man. Like even now, you can put you in a Burning Man. I think you'll fit right in.
You know what I like about Burning Man? Because so many people spend so much money to go and get ready.
Yeah.
From my first Burning Man to my last one so far, I always would go with actually my clothing.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice because it's more authentic. People call it Burning Man like costume. That's like a way that people project the understanding that level of expression needs to be a costume.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And it's actually not a radical expression of your soul.
But how do you feel if you go like right now to Latvia? You haven't been to Latvia.
I haven't been there, but
let's put you into some
Serbia. China, okay. I went recently to Korea, right?
Okay.
Last tour.
Korea is hippies. People are like wearing like some crazy clothes and coloring their hair.
No, that's Japan.
Oh, really? Korea is not like that?
No, Korea is super Americanized.
Okay.
Super, then. Yeah. I was like, it was super different and also disappointed because it was super Americanized.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
One is super Russian, the other is super American. That's funny, and they all like one border.
Exactly.
That's very funny.
So it was very interesting, right? And then I remember one day we were going to the festival there, and I had a little shorts and kimono, and they picked me up in the hotel, and we were supposed to go to the festival. There was far away, so I was like, okay, let's, first get the more like public thing or a car and all the way around. And I was like, no, we can't go like this. We can't go to the public, even in Korea.
You cannot.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Uncomfortable because we would pass through like the traditional neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that has like older Koreans, so they're less used to like Western, radical expression, Western thing. So yeah, it didn't happen, but
if you watch like that's interesting for me. Like I thought maybe it's a new thing, right? But it's not a new thing. The expression. If you watch like ancient Egypt, they were all like wearing gold and all those crazy makeup. Mayans were like fucking crazy with all their.
100%.
Like if you look at tribes right now, everywhere they do like face tattoos and they do like paintings. Yeah. So it's pretty. It was pretty common, but now we're all like want to be the same.
Yeah, that's another layer of control mechanism of the system, right? So first is a one way to leverage profit, right? Because like, okay, we're gonna produce in mass and we're gonna sell in mass and reduce cost, increase revenue. So that
but even something that costs like huge amount of money still is not that. Like if you go to Louis Vuitton, you still find like a suit. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is just way different. It's not like some fancy designers they create these days something cool.
Right,
if you look at fashion shows, they look all very similar.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess it's also mass produced.
But that's the thing. I mean, revolution is not gonna happen through Louis Vuitton kind of brand, right? They are actually the richest men on earth right now. I mean,
yeah,
published by Forbes,
yeah,
right? It's actually Louis Vuitton thing. So that's industry,
yeah,
right? What we're talking here is expression through the soul, not like top down imposed industry with so much things behind it,
Okay.
right? Like
I like expression for the soul. I like that.
yeah, like if your soul would scream through every cell of your body, how that would look like. Can you answer that for yourself?
I have no idea. It doesn't scream.
Hey.
I mean, I always wear what I like to wear. Like nobody's telling me what to wear. I'm in a position where I don't need to. But then I don't wear something that I don't feel uncomfortable. If I were to wear what you're wearing right now,
Yeah.
sitting here and pretending I'm comfortable with that, I'll be like, no.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like let's take an example, right? It's a blossoming process. So
Okay.
an example of that, I used not to dress up like this when I went to Silicon Valley. I was using I was like looking slightly more like you, like with jeans. I had like an open shirt with an undershirt,
Yeah.
right? So like very similar to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a blossoming out of the
You are.
Silicon Valley.
Look, I
Yeah.
can see you blossoming. Actually,
Okay,
like,
okay,
look
already, right?
Um,
I have more hair than last time. I didn't cut my hair this time.
like,
Yeah.
we can create a mastermind called Blossomy Brothers.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So you were not like that at start.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I was just like you.
And
Right.
what happened?
Um,
Your soul awakened. Your soul started screaming.
yeah. So, like the layers, right? So first thing is, I went to a place that was quite, San Francisco was where the hippie movement started and Burning
Yep.
Man and all of that. So it's a place that is fashion positive.
Yeah.
Let's call it like that.
Okay.
And then after that, I started going to ecstatic dance, and which is a place about uh, expression, so radical expression,
Yeah.
not through fashion, but through embodied expression.
Yeah.
And then just after that, I did my first ayahuasca and all of that in 2015, and then Burning Man,
Yeah.
which one of the 10 principles is radical self-expression, right? And then I get there, I was like, wow, incredible, right? Almost 10 years on that. So I kept doing that. So those things impacted me more than anything else, right? That same month that I completed, I turned 25. I did my first ayahuasca. I went to Burning Man and I became digital nomad, which would be for 5 years.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and
like,
then
what changed in your head? Like, how does this? What clicked? Like, I don't want to be like everybody else.
it
like-
wasn't a month like that. It was just like, if I look back right now, that would pinpoint, but it was a gradual process.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I did a lot of ayahuasca in my day. I didn't go to Burning Man, but I went to some, I guess, ecstatic dances, and I was a nomad for a while.
Right.
But look at us now. We're completely different.
No, that's a very good point, because that nomad, it's quite popular to the niche that we are talking here right now, right? What year were you nomad?
Right before COVID. So
Okay.
2019, 18.
Yeah, at that time it was not that popular. Right now, like remote working is way more accessible, right?
Yeah, I worked remote for like 7 years. Like before people knew that you can work remotely. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. So same. I started working remotely with my company back in Brazil. Yeah, 10 years ago, and then it became like the default. Okay, so going back to your meaningful question, what is the difference, right? First, I think there is a difference, a little bit of profile and priorities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a husband and a father of two from Eastern Europe, where they teach you to be post-Soviet
Yeah.
country, where you teach you to shut up and don't say much.
Exactly, right? So if
And you're from Brazil.
I'm from Brazil. I'm from the African part. I'm the youngest of all. I'm single. I've been single for 10 years.
But if you go to Brazil, would you look different from Brazilians walking the
100%,
street?
I look different anywhere.
So they look very Americanized now in Brazil. I guess they wear shorts and like
Yeah, that
t-shirt
with
and-
more colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's quite tropical.
Okay,
and
okay.
more body exposed, because it's
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's a very embodied.
But that's
culture.
already a big shift, like where you come from, I guess. 'Cause
Yeah, honestly, even like let's say a few years ago, I went to Africa Burn, which is the Burning Man of Africa, right? And even there, I was like different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, and the reason I'm different there, and I'll go back to your core question on this, is because it is not an imposed reality. It's coming from unraveled process of my soul,
Okay.
right? Um, and that is one of the reasons that I went into fashion, right? Because it's connected to my purpose, and I see how fashion, I don't really love much this word, but I'm still looking to find something better.
Expression.
Yeah, expression. Yeah, but expression can be embodied
Expression for
expression.
closest.
Yeah, let's create it right now. So it would be aesthetic expression.
Expression. Ecstatic expression.
Expression.
Ecstatic fashion. Yeah, ecstatic fashion.
Aesthetic fashion. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Our shop's called Waking Dreamers. We call it Dreamy Wear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not what I wear in my dreams, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely go a little bit more in the ecstatic fashion once ecstatic start becoming. Ecstatic has become something very strong for Bali,
Yeah.
and like
But
international.
what is ecstatic? Because for people like
Yeah.
myself who might
Right.
mix things up, and for a few more Latvians watching,
Sure.
what is ecstatic?
Okay, let's go there. Let me just finalize
Yeah,
that
finalize
thing.
that
So,
thought. Yeah.
I believe that with the expression of the soul, the same way that all of our souls are different, we would also express that differently if we would have that channel open. It's just a matter of putting water in that channel that's been happening for 10 years, and I have no doubt that also would happen with you, but we need to put water.
So you're saying my soul is not screaming yet? Okay.
In that channel, there are
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
channels. I know your soul screams in family and entrepreneurship, and what, like lifestyle growth in so many ways, and life has so many different paths. One that my soul is not screaming is, for example, family right now, and you are way more resourced than me on that. Would I like to put water into that in the long term? Yes. Would you like to put water into your blossoming aspect of expression in the short term?
I guess so. I don't know. It's like
It's still reflecting, right?
I'm still. I don't
Okay.
know what that means. I mean, for me, like, if you tell me that after 10 years I become looking like this, which I like it on you,
Mhm.
and I cannot imagine it on me. That's why you're a fashion designer,
Yeah.
and I'm not. I mean, I like how you look, but I'm
Yeah.
like, my first thought was like, where would I even buy all this stuff? I mean, it looks amazing, but I go in the store and I'm like, give me like, I buy like 5 of the same T-shirts.
Right.
I go once and I just buy stuff and I leave and I never go back. Mall is my worst nightmare.
Okay, so now is the moment that we show to everyone your before and after in the fashion shop.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
There you go. Okay. I'm glad that you like how it looks on me, and I'm glad that you also don't like how this will look on you.
And I'm very comfortable how I look right now.
Exactly.
So there's nothing about how I look. I should love this clothes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel it.
Yeah, exactly. And also a lot of people are very, like my cousin, which was the first person that spoke about me about ayahuasca over 10 years ago. He's also very comfortable working the corporate company back in Brazil in the
Listen.
oil thing.
I'm not comfortable wearing a suit. If you put me in a suit, I'll say fuck you. I don't have any shirts.
Right.
I used to wear shirts. I don't wear any shirts.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of things I don't wear any shoes, like formal shoes.
Right.
I only have sneakers. I only have sport clothing and
Yeah.
shorts, and that's it. But they all look very similar.
I see.
Because I don't like to think too much what I choose. For me, this
Yeah.
is not a priority. I don't know why.
Yeah. No, I understand. I done that. When I started in technology, I was the one shirt guy.
But before, like 10 years before, I would wear like Dolce Gabbana and shit.
Right.
But I was single, and my core intent at that point was to get laid.
Yeah.
So, to me, a lot of those things, when I look at people and they look very, fleshy or
Yeah.
dreamy or something,
Yeah.
I'm like, my subconscious mind projecting on myself back, saying that you are like a peacock here to attract women and get sex.
Yeah. So here's the thing, it might be true, it might not. But there is the aspect of the magnetism that the aesthetic expression can aesthetic expression, I like that instead of fashion, by the way.
Yeah.
But that can manifest, right? Like it will, especially if it's coming from your soul, right? Like when you see someone in their power, like let's say for example I'm a DJ, right? Like and there is a lot of people that see my soul through that offering, or maybe also
Yeah,
see
you're a public figure. You're a DJ. You start studying. You look actually exactly what I would imagine the fashion icon of Bali should look like. So you, but still, even though I still part of you, I'm gonna tell you,
yeah
does it to get laid. I feel it. I don't know why. I'm like, because
Yeah.
you're attracting women and you're surrounded by lots of women. If you would look like this, I mean, hopefully women like me too. I don't know.
They
My
do.
Anna tells me all the time. That's actually a sidetrack we should talk about.
Right.
I need to talk to you about it because I didn't believe in that. But anyway, part of me feels that you also do it to attract women and to be attractive to them. And also to, I mean, it's psychoanalysis, but maybe I'm projecting again.
Yes.
But another part of me feels that you want to push yourself as far of this business stuff and show with your expression that I am very different. I don't belong. This is not me. Yeah, same as I actually
Yeah.
wear like this, because when I go to Ubud and I see people walk bare feet and whatever, I don't have anything against them, but I'm not belong to their tribe. So for me, wearing like this, where everybody's wearing everything else, I'm actually stand out in Ubud a lot. But I'm like, I belong to my own tribe. I like, and people who I hang out with usually wear like this. So wear like the sporty clothes, entrepreneurs. So I feel like this is a way of belonging as well.
Yeah. No, I love that. There is no doubt that the aesthetic expression has a belonging element. Yeah. And then going back to the like, why would I or someone dress up in such a way instead of the jeans t-shirt, right? Why would you stop a natural flow of your soul to be expressed?
Well, see, my soul doesn't want to express, but I guess like what you're saying is contradicts to my thoughts, but I'm trying to get in your head.
Yeah.
When I wake up, I have 2 kids screaming, and we are like having a family thing.
Yeah.
I probably worked night before. Right now, I have a busy time, so I'm like, let's just put something on that is not in the laundry right now, and get off the house and do what needs to be done. My soul, the last thing it would scream is like, let's just dress up.
Yeah.
It's not natural. I don't know why.
It's a new habit, right? That we already spoke about the blossoming aspect, right? And also like the way it makes sense. So you grew up in the Dolce Gabbana kind of culture, right? Whatever that thing.
Yeah.
And then now it was like, I'm out of that. That's bullshit.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst, right? I also developed that when I was around 15, by the way.
Yeah, but I tried to get laid. I'm honestly looking back. I was trying to attract women because I was not popular with women.
Yeah.
And I thought that if I look rich, I had like golden chains and stuff. Hard to believe, but long hair, hard to believe.
Really?
But
we gotta put a picture of him right now, please.
Yeah, let's do it. And I was asking Anna when we were dating. I already had the long hair to like straighten them up because they were curly.
Okay.
The whole thing. But before I started all of this to attract women.
Right.
I believe. It actually worked better. Like I found the worst thing is when you do the wrong thing and it works for wrong reasons. Then you start go deeper into that, and then you change your identity.
Totally. Yeah. So how about that, right? In the tantric mysteries of life, it definitely helps to attract the woman, but how about if blossoming that would help you or anyone to attract the woman within you?
There's woman within me?
Yes.
Oh, you mean feminine side?
Yes.
Okay. I actually feel that I'm more feminine than masculine. Ha. Ha. Somebody told me that. Not that I feel. Somebody told me that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I
really?
was raised by a
Who
single
told you
mom.
that? Donald
I
Trump?
was raised by a single mom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you agree with that comment?
Like if I go to a masculine kind of really macho masculine thing, I feel very uncomfortable.
I see.
If I go to, I'm easier to make friends with a lot, like most of my life. Right
Yeah.
now it's different.
Yeah.
Most of my friends are men, but most of my life, because I guess I relate to my mom,
Yeah.
most of my friends were women.
Okay. Sure. Okay, but that being said, let's go to the what very strong feminine elements are present within you?
That's a good question. What masculine elements present?
I can
For-
list down your masculine very easily.
Okay. What are they?
You are pragmatic,
Okay.
right? You are grounded,
Sure. Okay.
right? You are what else? You are like succinct,
What does that mean?
like you are kind of like compact communicator.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's masculine traits.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the way you dress is very simple. That's a masculine trait, black and repetitive, and consistent.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
masculine too, right? You are someone that is more dedicated to the mental word than to the body word.
100%. Okay. Okay.
I can keep going, but I think
No,
we got
no,
enough,
no.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll shut up now.
Yeah. So by doing that, the blossoming, I remember in 2014 and 15, I went into a kind of creative theater class that I would go every Monday.
Yeah.
My core intention was, because I was in the creative industry already, was to have a channel that I would allow to blossom my creative expression.
Okay.
1 year later, I discovered ecstatic dance, which was a way even better thing.
Yeah.
And from that, I started doing more self-care practices, and then ecstatic dance came, and then fashion aesthetic expression came, and all of that. So I would definitely encourage you to have one channel. It doesn't need to be aesthetic expression.
Is a podcast a channel?
A podcast for me is way more masculine.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking. We're in the mental aspect.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to do something feminine, come again to the ecstatic dance.
I don't know.
Excellent.
Very uncomfortable.
Oh, there you go.
Very uncomfortable. For a friend who goes every day and he's like, should come. I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
But that's it. So.
But then back to a story about me. There's a story that I sidelined. We're talking with Anna. I think after your podcast and then we talked. We did our podcast about self-expression and tantra, and then somebody else, and we're like chatting, and I'm like, I don't think other women look at me at all, because I don't actually notice women too much. I don't know why. I actually a lot in my head. So I do my work, and a beautiful woman are around, because like beautiful people are around.
Right.
But I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're here, great. We chat, but it's not like I never have any thought that they're interested in me.
Right.
And she's like, they look at you all the time. I'm like, no. She's like, yes, every time I notice, they look at you all the time. I'm like, bullshit. So we're sitting in the cafe, and this woman just like looks at me like crazy, and I'm like, right. So I consciously didn't notice that.
Yeah.
So something shifted where I'm like, before I used to need to be flashy.
Yeah.
Now I'm not flashy, and the result is almost the same. So I just wasted my money on Dolce & Gabbana.
So there is a reshape on your belief there, right?
Yeah.
And that can potentially also happen with the fashion. When I was nomad, I would go to a party. Okay, let's go to a party this weekend. I would dress myself. I would dress my friend in a similar thing, so we would go together. And I was like, bro, just enjoy the party. Normal, nothing. And as they step into the party, they were like, wow. Right? So I would, yeah.
But
that's a channel.
Okay, going back to my question then. You feel you're doing part of it to get attraction from women?
I'm aware that this makes me attract more women, and that's not the reason why I'm doing it.
See, if I were you, who have so many women in your life and it's hard for you to navigate it, I would actually dress like me to not to have a problem.
There are, the days that are more introvert, I kind of like scale down for sure.
Yeah.
And that's again expression of my soul in that moment, right? There are moments that your soul are more retracted, more expensive,
Yes.
right? And then you express that. It's not an agenda. It's not like I don't want to think every morning what I'm gonna listen. That's effort, right? That's ego in game. But what about tuning in into what is happening and allow that to be manifested? I do that not only with fashion, with food.
Okay. How do you choose your clothes? Like, how does that works out? Like, you go to a shop and you like meditate, and you're like, what do you do like to express?
Great question.
Yeah.
Actually, it actually starts before the shop. Like
Okay.
I always like, for example, I can give a live example right now, but basically, I was like, what is in need of my expression right now? What part of me it's been not like channeled out of my soul into the 3D?
Okay.
Right. So an example of that,
Yeah.
boots. I used to have incredible boots that I bought in Barcelona, a designer brand, all of that, and in Africa Burn, someone brought it home with them, right? And
Somebody's soul wanted to express themselves.
yeah, exactly. Express
With your
into
boots.
someone's soul, and they feel the call, and
Yeah. If you're watching, give back the boots.
oh
Come on, man.
that boot, it's been already 2 years, and it hasn't really solved itself yet.
Yeah.
But,
Please bring it back.
yeah, and Bali obviously is not the best place for buying boots.
I mean, is Bali best place for buying anything?
Of course.
Because
This
thing
thing.
that okay, yeah, thing what I buy is very hard. I have to go out of Bali to go to normal mall to buy myself.
Oh
This is
God.
not. But for your clothes, it's okay.
Yeah, we are the kind of one of the bohemian capitals in the planet.
Yeah, okay. So is it called boho style?
That's one way. The another one you can call it like spiritual wear or whatever, but it's definitely very bohemian. Yeah,
Okay.
mine is not very like a flat. Mine has a lot of like fashion with yogi things and bohemian and.
So you, first of all, you sit at home and like, how would I want my soul to express myself? And then you have a picture. Then you go and find things.
Yeah, so I notice what is missing.
Yeah.
So it's already there.
Okay.
Right? It's like, oh, I noticed that this is not being honored by myself.
But what is this? Like, can you?
Like the boots, for example.
Okay, the boots are not.
Yeah, because it's been gone. I've been wanting, but it hasn't. I'm going to Europe in a month, so
Yeah.
probably we'll sort that out. But
Yeah.
and then I was like, I noticed what is the missing expression.
Yeah.
Once that is done, I envision how that will look like.
Yeah.
So I create that, and then, naturally there is sometimes more intensity in the need or research. Other ones less. Like
Yeah.
the boots is less because like we're in Bali.
Yeah.
Right.
Who needs boots in Bali?
Yeah, but I'm going to Europe and whatever, right? So I was like, okay. And then there I got a little bit more activated, and then I just flew around. I like to walk and drive towards places that are, resonance of my lifestyle. So I would see a shop like mine that I was like, oh wow, this looks great. Let me go in, and then boom.
And then you just feel what you want to buy.
And then I find it's very specific. In my level, I'm like very specific, right? Like a lot of things. Sometimes this is custom made. This is custom made. This is like a custom made. This is not we have in the shop, but yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know.
And it's very important to say to you and to a lot of people there. It's very effortless.
I can't believe it.
Now.
Exactly. For me, that would be like, this would be very stressful. I'll be like, I would better go and like, I don't know, go like make business offers to people and make like money. This is more for me, way easier than go
Right.
and do this.
Yes, and I actually can see that, and I really thanks for being. I love that, right? Because I can see how that is true to you.
Yeah,
Right.
even feel, like, I just thought about it. I
Yeah,
have to-
even your expression,
I'm like,
like you guys see, like
Yeah.
you go like, fuck that shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'll do this the best and fuck everything else. No,
Yes.
but like going back seriously now, like, um, it's like imagining, you like it of course is gonna be very stressful to eat a fruit, to find a fruit if you haven't yet put water into the earth,
Okay, yeah.
right? First you gotta like find out, okay, I'm on this earth now, like I'm playing the game right now, which is, for example, you're not yet, right? Or maybe you are,
I have tattoos.
right?
And I had tattoos because I felt like I need to do a tattoo. My soul was screaming,
Okay.
I need to do a tattoo.
Okay.
But my mind said, okay, we need a plan. So I don't
Right.
do tattoos like Conor
Right.
McGregor.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
where's your monkey tattoo? Well, I just went to tattoo shop and I just pointed out to one and they made me. Everybody's
Right.
like, ooh, that's the best tattoo in the world. The guy just
Yeah.
made it 5 minutes. I spent like on a small tattoo on my hand, like, I don't know,
I
20
never seen
hours
it.
of thinking. Yeah. It's like, you know,
Okay, so it's in process.
yeah, the whole thing is like the whole journey of my life. It's all has meaning.
Nice. Okay.
So I guess my soul screams sometimes, or like I
Yeah.
finished Ironman triathlon. I made an Ironman tattoo on my. I mean, it's
Right.
very logical, but
Right. Okay. So it's in process. Okay. So that's one, and then it's like, and obviously we could all see here right now, would be willing to face this, what can be a potential resistance to that, right? Because you were on fashion before with Dolce Gabbana, whatever thing, and then you realize how, a shit show that was. So you walk away, and then you basically like, whatever it's too much expression out, I'm just gonna keep this simple because I noticed that those things are out. But maybe, right, there is something else that is a fashion, but it's not that kind of fashion. It's not a validation fashion, but a self-discovery
yeah,
fashion.
but that's. I think part of the limiting beliefs in my head is, like, I really don't like people who try to prove themselves with clothes,
Mm-hmm.
like buy this expensive watch and drive expensive car.
Right.
I don't want to attract these people in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in hanging out with those people because I used to have all of this. I would attract the wrong people who just with me and they're just like comparing their how much money they have. This to me is the worst.
Yeah.
But I also don't feel very comfortable with people who are too in a spiritual path sometimes because I don't know. I'm sort of a bridge between spirituality, even though I look like this, and like practicality. I believe
Yeah.
so because I am pretty spiritual. Like I read spiritual books. I talk about spirituality about people all the time.
Yeah.
Not that I'm completely percent believer, but I'm also I find myself like if I go to cacao ceremony,
Yeah.
I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
I actually know people who sing there. They were in this podcast.
Right.
I love them. They're good friends.
Yeah.
I sit there among the people who are like they meditate certain way, and I'm like, if I meditate, I just go in my room and meditate by myself. It's like to me, it's like showcasing your spirituality to some degree, which people probably don't. They just come there to have a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to. Spirituality is my personal thing that I like to do by myself, for example.
So that's a masculine trait. That's the masculine spirituality,
Okay.
right? Solitude, individuality, and all. And I'm also great on that, by the way, right? I'm like, yeah, I have a big villa here. I had friends that wanted to come by this weekend, but I'm like, I have a Ecstatic dance tomorrow. We have our festival on Saturday, and I'm gonna have a lot of people already in those events. I was like, no, I need 0 people added in the villa, right? So that's beautiful. And I know the masculine of like my space, my privacy, all of that. And there is the other way, which is not better, not worst, just complementary,
Yeah.
which is the feminine way. It's a more horizontal, right? It's actually the spirituality also happens through the collective,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Of being witness, of being support, of being together, right? And tomorrow we're doing that. And by the way, I don't also love the cacao ceremony that is too extended or whatever. My one tomorrow, when it happens, is about 10-15 minutes, straight to the point, right? I'm a bridger like you, but a little bit more in the spectrum, a little bit more
Yeah.
there. But we understand each other. But basically, it's how Um, what was the topic? Sorry, I missed it. The
Well, you're saying that I'm not feminine.
Oh, the feminine. No. Not you're not. I'm just saying you
Which-
have
which
more
I start to agree.
affinity to
Yeah.
the masculine approach of spirituality, right?
I just don't have understanding, actually. Like, I don't
Of
have...
the other one.
Yeah, to me it's uncomfortable, but it's not
Exactly.
uncomfortable to the point where I'm afraid or anxious.
Yeah,
To me, it's like it feels wrong.
there you go. So yeah, but there are several ways of resistance, right? One, like fight is one,
Yeah,
which is can be wrong because it's pointy finger is like you are wrong, right?
I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm thinking I'm in the wrong place. Like,
I see.
yeah,
So-
everything around me is doing the right thing, and I really appreciate they doing it.
Yeah,
But I feel wrong being there. It feels wrong
yeah,
to me being there. Like, why am I here? I cannot enjoy it. I don't feel like it's my thing. I don't feel I'm in the right place with the right people.
right.
Because Anna really likes it. She does cacao ceremonies and she sings. She does women's circles. She's complete opposite.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
we attract each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes she invites me to things, and
Yeah.
I say yes because I want to support her
Of
and
course,
be
of course.
with her and spend time. But every time I come out, I'm like, I don't feel this is the best
Right.
use of my time.
Okay, I have a note on that. So I heard you sharing that earlier. You grew up in you know in a very conservative, like man gotta be man and woman gotta be woman. So like women are with the feelings, men are with the mental aspect, right?
Well, also everybody needs to be the same, like Soviet kind of thing.
Right.
People to understand Soviet Union, if you say something people don't like, they send you to Gulag and they just you're dead. So
I
it's
see.
like a very.
Right.
I think this generational, if we believe in
Oh,
generational
100%,
trauma,
for sure.
there's lots of people in my family who were sent out or
Yeah. It's interesting. Like last summer after Korea, I went to Serbia and I played there, and they have those elements. And I played also in nightclubs, open air, like all of that. But I was like, wow, I got a massive hangover just by playing there for a few hours, and then I had to play in the morning as well. And I was like, wow. And then density in the field, I'm very sensitive. We were talking about that
Yeah.
earlier. I'm like, wow, right? So I understand that, but like by you. You know, like if you go to a cacao ceremony, because what is happening at a cacao ceremony, it's, you know, I inquire here, right, for their reality. It's people doing one thing, but that it's very much about the feeling, right? So the masculine spirituality tends to be way more like, you know, like being aware of the thoughts, right? Like
Yeah.
like normal meditation, being aware of the thoughts and let go.
Mhm.
Notice them, acknowledge.
I do that well.
There, I have no fucking doubt.
I'm an
Yeah.
I can do a class of masculine meditation. Sign up.
Okay, so that's the, you know, the most well-known spirituality. It's even the big system embrace that,
Yeah.
right? Okay, the other one, which is more repressed, which is the feminine. Like, okay, notice the feelings, not the thoughts necessarily more. And instead of let go, I just came from training on that right now, by the way. So notice the feeling, not notice, better said, like embrace the feelings
Mhm.
and express it. That's why women, when they're stressed, they're talking to you, blah 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 blah. They're just like putting that out. It's not about what they're saying. It's about how they're feeling, right? So, you know, I just did this like shamanic tantra training right now, very intense for 1 whole week, and it was all about like fully owning the emotions and releasing and transmuting that, because then the wisdom was underneath that,
Okay.
right? While it's like the meditation is like you know you acknowledge and you let go, and then the wisdom comes after that.
Yeah.
The other side of the coin is like you put all the emotions out, boom, and then wisdom comes,
Okay.
right? And okay, so going back to you now, after talking about the concept, if you go to a cacao ceremony and it's a lot about feeling, right? Connect with the emotions, with your heart and your intention. Is very custom oriented, right? It's space holding. It's not one guided Soviet direction, right?
Yeah, I need a cacao ceremony for post-Soviet people.
Yeah, actually, in our ecstatic dances, we have a lot of like Eastern European. You know what I noticed? Over 50% of my followers this year are from Russia.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah, I
know.
was like, wow. And then if I combine the second, third, fourth, and fifth place together, they're not even half of that.
I mean, there's a lot of Russians in Bali.
Yeah, here, but anyway, but that number was strong. But going back to you,
You're just attractive man for Russian people. Most.
yeah, I
A
think
lot for
so.
a lot of Russian people.
A lot of Russian people
That's
here.
why Russian girls like you so much. You have a full Russian fan
That's a
club.
whole topic, man.
Yes. We're gonna get the
Let's go back
part
to the
3
main.
later. We're gonna talk about Russian girls. Sorry, Russian girls who are
Wow.
watching.
Yeah. So going back to you, so as you're in the cacao ceremony, it's invoking a very customized experience within you, right? Like what is alive in your heart,
Okay.
right? So, and that's very, everyone's gonna have their own experience, their own emotion, their own personal intention.
Yeah.
And not only is different, and then, sounds like you had this conditioning that, it's something very deep and vulnerable needs to be alone,
Yeah.
such as spirituality, and also needs to be the same.
The same in which.
Like you said, like Soviet Union, everyone needs to think the same.
I don't think that way, but yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
but
it's,
you had that conditioning, right? So
probably,
there is a
yeah.
layer on
You
that.
don't want to stand out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you would be in the Soviet Union right now, you're gonna go to Siberia. Honestly, I mean there was hippies in Soviet Union,
Okay.
but you have to buy on a black market some hippie stuff, and then
Okay.
if your neighbor will tell that you're wearing something,
Yeah.
they would send you out.
Okay.
So I don't nothing personal against you, but if you would be in Soviet Union right now, they would probably send you to
Yeah.
the gulags.
I have no doubt. Yeah.
So good times, good times. See, it's a good realization that we're living in good times.
No, I
Could
agree.
be way worse.
Yeah, but like think about that.
But I agree with you. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of limitations that on me by myself,
Yeah.
by my traumatic experiences where maybe I tried to self-express and my parents told me, no, you need to
Yeah. Yeah.
stop
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. I don't remember, but probably
Yeah.
in childhood it was like this. And I
Yeah.
connected it to, I just need to be,
Yeah. And it can be to a gentle experience like tomorrow's, or it can also be, I like going full power, right? Or if I commit to the idea, you can also, like do. Have you said with ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I tried all many different things and those actually psychedelics.
Yeah.
I dance and I laugh and I cry and I do whatever, but this is the only time.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. At least it happens with that one, right?
Oh, it happens all the time. Like when I take ayahuasca,
Yeah.
people usually like purge and lie down and they cry,
Yeah.
and I just go around and dance, and people are like, "What the hell?"
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I dance at home too. Sometimes.
Okay.
I dance with my kids at home.
Okay. Have you rolled out that peak experience into your routine somehow?
No,
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
Well, I do.
Okay, how do I do it?
5 p.m. tomorrow. Come by.
See, for a cacao ceremony and
It's
dance.
ecstatic. Cacao ceremony is
But see, now you want to put me into the place where like 100 other people dancing, where
a
I'm
lot of
like,
people are doing for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm just a suggestion, right?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I'm see going to like if you tell me right now, go to ayahuasca ceremony or go to ecstatic dance, I would choose ayahuasca ceremony. Even though
Right.
most people will say, "Are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
crazy?
yeah.
This is the worst experience in my life."
But also because you are more, let's zoom out on that, right? Let's see the invisible dynamic of it. So ayahuasca will bring you to the spirit realm, mostly, right?
Yeah,
And you are comfortable with that.
Yep.
More comfortable with that than with actually your embodied spirituality, which
Yep.
is ecstatic dance, which is the feminine path of spirituality, which we spoke a few minutes ago.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, so this training, for example, that I just came from, it's all about, they actually reverse the pyramid, right? They kind of see that it's actually, instead of consciousness, it's all coming from the void,
Okay.
right?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a reverse pathway instead of the ascension path, which
Yeah.
is the meditation, going higher chakras and third eye, and is the descension path. How can you bring your divine, from the heart center, which is the central chakra, how we can descend into the great mystery within you.
Just by thinking about it, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there's few DJs I really like. I like your music as
Oh,
well.
you do?
but
Okay, I'm
yes,
glad.
yes,
Otherwise, I
yes,
would
yes.
walk out right now.
I know. I have to point that out. And I listen to their sets. They send me their sets, let's say, and I would just at home, like I
Mhm.
listen to their music and I dance. But like, I think I have a lot of limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
I used to go to parties to hook up.
Yeah.
When I come to like ecstatic dance, I have like thoughts about what am I doing here?
Yeah.
There's lots of women and lots of men who wants to have sex or something. Somebody is just maybe on drugs, maybe drunk, or I don't know, whatever happens.
Yeah.
But it's my thoughts, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just sitting there by myself. I'm like, I don't just know what I do. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
usually go in a company somewhere and sit and chill and talk, which men do.
Yeah.
But like just moving around by myself and like enjoying myself, I kind of understand it, but I cannot think that I would do it.
Okay. It sounded, at the first part that you shared, sounded very judgmental.
I know. I'm
Right.
not saying it's not.
Yeah. No, I know you're aware, right? I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
reflecting.
I don't like myself sometimes for thinking that way.
So why ecstatic dance changed my life and so many people around the world, and it will keep changing that in massive scale? Exactly because the reasons you share. And let me tell you why. So the 5 principles of ecstatic dance, you asked me that earlier, right? Is a space free of judgment that we just spoke.
See, I don't
Free
belong.
of verbal communication.
Perfect.
Bare feet, no alcohol, and no mobile phone. So those guidelines, what are they doing, right? They are the supporting mechanism for creating a platform so we can fucking melt down all the conditionings that I had a lot. You have some still present. And after 3 ecstatic dances with a proper DJ, if you want to do a dance, you can do it Friday and Saturday. And the next week, you're going to be a different man in the dance floor, I guarantee you. If you do that, you're going to be a completely different person already in the next week. If you do 1 ecstatic dance a week for 4 weeks, in a proper setting with a proper music and with a strong intention, everyone, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? All over the world, you become a different person.
In which way?
Embodied self-confidence.
What does that mean?
It means being comfortable to be in your own body.
Okay.
And allow that to be expressed into life more easily. And there are layers of that, but that's the foundation of it.
Interesting.
Right. So this hat here, it's very later on byproduct of this essential dynamic.
You're not selling it well if you're telling me that I'm gonna wear hats.
No. But that's my soul.
Yeah, I know.
This is a soul-to-soul conversation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I like your soul. I like your soul, how your soul looks like.
I love your soul too, and I will love to see it more rawly expressed into the colors of this 3D's reality. And the colors, I don't mean activities. I mean in the actual colors, like it's just,
I like orange.
huh?
I like orange.
There
I have
you
an
go.
orange bike.
You do. I think that's a great color in you. It goes well with your skin.
I know. I for some reason see, I have self-expression. I have the most
Right.
orange motorbike in the whole fucking island.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I never seen it.
It's right out.
Oh, yeah?
outside, yeah. You'll definitely see it if you come out.
No,
now
for
since
sure,
you
yeah.
know.
Okay. Have you? What was the last time you dressed up orange?
Actually, before buying this,
Okay.
I went to
Yeah.
Nike store
Yeah.
and I seen this very orange hoodie like that,
Yeah.
and I decided not to buy it.
What does orange? Let me ask you a question for your soul right now. So Anatoly, excuse me, let me talk to your soul. I'm talking to your soul right now, okay? Can you close your eyes for a second?
Okay.
Yeah. So Anatoly's soul. When you are, if you look around you and at Stolly's show and it's everything completely orange, just like the orange that you really like, that is maybe in your motorbike or another one, how does that make you feel?
Playful.
Playful?
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Happy. Yeah. Just fun.
Okay. And is that an element that is very present in the essence of your soul?
Definitely.
How that could be even further expressed in your day-to-day life through your aesthetic expression?
I have no idea. Maybe buy another orange bike. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but it's good. Okay, I love that because here is the thing. We're gonna go
There's
back
a
to
hope because I like orange. I think there's a hope.
yes, and also, so if we go back to your roots and to the masculine in spirituality, that you're the pathway that is more further developed for the reasons that you know better than us is to express that through the safe way of a motorbike, which is a very masculine thing. You got a sportive, sexy, then a motorbike, so that's a safe container.
I also got a actually orange car back home.
Oh, you do? Okay, which is also like a car
Very,
and motorbike.
very masculine.
Yeah, like
But-
a Mustang.
And I also chose a company that was like I was supposed to work with one of the other companies.
Yeah.
I chose one, I think, because the logo was orange.
There you go.
So it's important.
Yes. Yeah. And okay, company is also a masculine path.
Okay, how do we express? Should I drink orange juice or wear orange hat?
Or
That would be
orange
strange.
nails.
See, that's for me too much.
Obviously, I'm being playful
I know,
here.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
There's another thing that in Eastern European being like looked more like gay.
Yeah.
If you're a masculine man.
Yeah.
Something that I can't overcome. I have gay friends that I love and they dress gay and I'm like, this looks really good on you.
Yeah.
But for me, it would be too much. I would judge myself.
Yeah.
I have good friends who have nails polished like in different colors and I'm like, looks cool.
Yeah.
But to me, that's an internal taboo. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
So with Awakening Dreams, which is our festival label, we do archetypal experiences, right? Our last event, not the one that is coming this weekend, was called Diva.
Okay.
So it was a glorious lingerie disco party.
Yeah, I seen on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that was an invitation as a party for men and for women and for non-binaries or whatever. Because that's an archetype,
Yeah.
right? So it exists within all of us as long as we allow it to be felt and expressed.
Okay.
And we're all, there was like 70% women, that's natural for our events, but 30% men, they were expressing their own inner diva out, which is is the most playful of all,
Yeah.
right? Very flamboyant, very easygoing, and all of that, right? I had like a
Looks great.
yeah, right. It was great.
I can imagine.
It's just like commercially speaking, it's too niche,
Yeah.
right? It's a very out there thing.
I would not go, but
Yeah.
looking at it, I was like, wow.
Well, next one, you come in orange. So, and that's the beauty of those events because it's specifically designed to evoke something that exists and is meaningful inside all of us. And we use our music and connection to channel that out and transform people through a spiritual celebratory experience.
But I'm thinking about it. In my head, I'm like, first of all, I don't feel comfortable doing it. But second of all, I'm like, but I also feel my friends are going to judge me.
Right.
Is going to be...
Yeah.
All those things are like present in my life.
Yes.
Which at some point, I kind of don't care until I do. Which is interesting. Like, I usually don't like what people think of me. I'm not usually worried about it at all. Like, people, for this video, people put comments that I'm... I don't know, that I don't like gays, I don't like Soviet Union, I don't like this, I don't like Uber people, which is all not true, but they will. Which I don't give a shit. Put whatever you want in the comments. But I'm saying is that, but at some point, if I'm like stepping the line for myself, I'll be like, No, I don't want people to perceive me in a way that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I know that I have gay friends and love gay people, if somebody says you don't like gay people, I'm not gonna give a shit because I know I do.
Yeah.
But if I go on a lingerie and dance on a table, and I'm like not comfortable with that,
Yeah.
then people are like, "Are you crazy?" And I'll be like, "Yeah."
Yeah. That's very, understandable. And I think and that's the beauty of art. Like if we, how would you give your soul permission to embody it for one night or one afternoon or 1 hour or one photo, how you would look like in your gay version? That actually would be probably very healing for all of us, especially the one experiencing.
For my gay version, but
or the gay version of, for example, tomorrow's Saturdays is a heavenly festival. So a lot of people are gonna be dressed like angels and wings and wine and bohemian and flower crowns. That's one archetype as well. Not everyone, like that's like the most expressive people.
I seen one lady's dressing up like that and it was beautiful.
Exactly.
I love it. Looking at other people, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it fits me. I don't know why.
But your soul is playful.
Yeah, but what's playful? Playful is driving a orange bike is playful.
Well, that's one way of playful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing, I don't know.
And that's the thing, like, because, in this training a lot, and it's very alive, this training, because I'm still integrating, but
yeah,
there are other pathways, right? It's a soul initiation, right? So it's very androgynous, and because our soul has no gender.
Yeah.
Right. So even though we do have genders, in our physical body, our soul doesn't. So if we, because of the society conditions, we just channel towards one way, then we have a unintegrated part of our soul, and then we can just project out there in the partners, and it can work out.
Yeah.
Right. You have like a polarized relationship. And yet, that's not the deepest yearning of our soul, because our soul is genderless.
Well, does orange T-shirt move me to the right direction?
It is great. And it's and the beauty is that because one thing that I do share is like, oh my God, but if I use that, people will look at it, and then there is judgment and all that, and that's very beautiful and vulnerable to share. And what I want to say for people at home as well is that, by giving permission and honoring and expressing our feminine or the masculine, depending on whatever gender you are, the opposite polarity, you actually blossom your core energy too, right? Because for you to honor, I remember when I came back Silicon Valley to Brazil, and I was still in the like, okay, it's very easy for me to walk in San Francisco and burn me on ecstatic dance using, I was a little bit, something like this. But then I go back to Brazil, and it's normal, way more normal thing. And I was like, you know what I'm going to fucking do it? I had it from a Halloween event in San Francisco, a whole full body onesie of Minion. So I started going to complete normal parties by myself, dress up like a Minion, and walk in the street with that.
But you are like a certain specimen. You're like, you have this power. You have this, I don't know. It's like it's important for you. But I want to say one thing.
Okay.
I need to just try to express it in a way that
Sure,
that is not going to offend people in any way. But we all want to express ourselves in different way. But here's when we come back to the original question. If you go and walk in the streets of Ubud, people have very similar traits when they express themselves.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are wearing the same, what do you call them? Kimonos. It's very popular. Bunch of people having long hair. Bunch of people having like a man bun. Bunch of people having similar tattoos. And you're like, how are we expressing ourselves in a way like we're expressing our soul in a way that we all look very much similar. So it's like if you really want to express yourself, there's like a marshmallow guy who wears a marshmallow hat. That's a unique expression.
Yeah.
But I feel that other people, by trying to express themselves, they still copying others in a way that, okay, you're my idol, you're a DJ, I want to look like Edu. There are a bunch of people who are copying you all around. So what I'm trying to say is that there's like there's a line between self-expression when everybody's doing the same thing anyway. So here's people, if where I hang out, everybody wears whatever the clothes is, and where you hang out, they all look very similar.
But okay, so that's a very good point, right? So let's do a parallel with business world, right? So let's say if you're starting a podcast, right? What like should you reinvent the wheel, or should you copy a format at least to start it off until you get some traction, and then from that you do some iterations and stuff like that? It's a safer path to do like that.
Yes, but it's not the same. Here's you're saying that we're talking about feminine and not masculine.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is a process. Remember, I've been doing this for, let's say, 10 years myself, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm in this level. Like, when I started, it wasn't at this level, obviously, right? I'm sure that your first podcast wasn't in this format either, right? Like, maybe 5 years ago, whatever, right? So I think the most important, and you know that definitely at least as well as me, is to start.
Yes.
Right? And to start and to keep going in the and that is the most uncomfortable moment for anything, for a business, for a spiritual practice, or for artistic expression.
Yeah, everybody's not having a orange bike after I have orange bike. There are people come to me and they're asking me where I do it, and then this fucking guy comes, if you're watching, fucking guy comes and does the same design as I did, and I spent a bunch of money on my designer creating my unique colors. As the guy comes, he's like, where did you get it from? And I think he wants to just get a nice color.
Right.
Like he just comes and copies exactly what I did.
And you know what I like about that, because there are some people doing similar things as well, that pushes to go further.
Yeah, so now I have to do something else.
Now you put some wings in the fucking motorbike.
I have to go on a horse.
No, the motorbike is orange with an orange helmet and orange gloves.
I guess. But like, it's just not important. I don't know why. It was a spurge of the moment where I'm like, I want an orange bike. I'll have an orange bike. I bought a bike. It's going to be orange.
Yeah.
And I love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, so good.
Yeah.
But nothing else. Like, it's not, I have sometimes like, whoo.
Yeah,
when I see this is like a special collection Adidas, which I can't believe. There's like, they made like, I don't know, 500 of those.
Right.
And I went to a store and there was lots of other ones. And I'm like, I really like it. So I bought it.
Right.
So I usually do that. I wear very simple things.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, it wasn't my thing either. I never thought I would be a fashion entrepreneur.
I don't know. Hard to believe. I feel somewhere inside of you there.
The soul, yes.
You don't go to Burning Man if you don't want to. I mean, your path is telling you that you probably was always destined to do that.
So sorry. Never. Yeah, because one thing is like, I never thought I would be a DJ either. I never wanted to be a DJ. I just became a DJ because of a need.
What was the need?
Because there was an ecstatic dance in Brazil, and I was growing, and a playlist wasn't getting enough anymore.
Okay.
And then I got into the other, and I hate it. Like you, I hate it. Because dance floor was my most ecstatic, blissful, lovable place on earth for me. And there was a deeper calling to go into the other side, and I was terrible. I was completely out of flow.
It's so interesting, because now every time I see your page, the people just raving. They're like, this is the god of ecstatic dance. And I'm like, wow, it's hard to believe. Maybe I have a chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to convince.
5 years, we're going to sit here naked with like, I don't know.
Maybe you start a third podcast about fashion.
Maybe. I don't want to start any more podcasts, man. It's getting hard already. But beautiful.
Yeah. So it's again step one, and then I let here the two invitations, either for Ecstatic tomorrow or Saturday, which is more fashion related. Tomorrow is more like soul related. Saturday is more a little bit more.
So I come by myself. I just do my own thing and I go.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, let's say, for example.
Yeah. You come at 5, and you stay at least until sunset.
Don't have to talk to anybody. I just stay in my
Nothing.
corner. I dance a little bit,
Yes.
and then I go home.
Yes.
And I never came. I like that. Some part of
Like,
me is like,
if
ooh,
you come
adventure.
tomorrow,
Adventure.
and you leave, and I would never invite you to those, and nothing changes, I would never invite you to those things anymore.
Pressure is on.
No, I'm
Pressure is
I'm not saying come, like you gotta come. I'm saying, and the good, what is the beauty of it? If you, let's say, if you would decide to come, like you done the ecstatic dance in the best setting, we kind of like the best guy you could do.
I did. You're definitely the best guy. I did one in Yoga Barn,
Yeah,
but I did go for a night one,
yeah,
and it was very sexually charged.
Yeah.
Everybody's touching each other, and I'm like, nah.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of those people are single people.
Right.
And here is like a father of two,
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying if you're father and married, you should go to ecstatic dance, but I'm like,
Yeah. And it's true. That's a place that is heavily charged with sexual energy. And I've been in those places, and I used to love that. Because we come from very repressed, Brazil less, but very repressed global society on sexuality. So it's very nice to have a place where we can actually get in touch with that energy
yeah.
collectively and share with each other in a safe container. Maybe some people won't like it. Like for me, when I go, I stay in the corner, right? And I'm like in my own dance energy.
If you go to ecstatic dance, you stay in a corner.
Me as a dancer?
Yeah. I thought there would be like 15 people around you staying in a corner.
Oh, yeah,
Right
it does. But that's why I'm saying, in the corner next to the speaker with space, and like I'm very, yeah. And I don't do often, right? I would love to do every week. For me, my main spiritual practice, and I have a diverse range, nothing can beat an ecstatic dance. Nothing. So many of my business insights and life decisions came from that.
And give me some tips on ecstatic dance. Like before we wrap it up, I need some tips on ecstatic dance. So
okay, yeah. So what I
for
suggest
beginners,
suggest is, cacao helps a lot to open the heart and give energy. But
so beforehand, drink some cacao.
yeah, and tomorrow we serve to everyone. There is a ceremony, very brief, but I suggest cacao 1. 2, I suggest the first, 15 to 30 minutes, eyes closed. Help to shut the mind, right? 3rd, I suggest you doing some body practice before, like for example, yoga. I think is the best one because it's gonna relax your body, your whole system, and will warm it up to go to a higher state of embodiment and consciousness.
Yeah.
So that's 3rd. 4th, it's one thing that I also like. If there is a moment that you don't like the music, which can happen, right?
No, impossible.
I would encourage people to also dance to that music that doesn't sound good to you, because that will also encourage you to, when we reject things because we don't want to go there, like, okay, this is coming this way. How does what does that manifest in my body, and how that my body would go in that direction? Probably is a new experience. And lastly, the 5th and last tip would be, let go. Like tomorrow, a lot of people, they will have the best dance of their entire life, right? And they will also reach the highest level of ecstasy of their entire life being sober. So, and that process can go even further if they let go and they accept that, because like a lot of ecstatic dances, they start here and they do this here, right? I start here, and I go, you probably saw, we go really, like, I want to go what is beyond ecstasy? That's the place, right? It's kind of like a collective ecstasy reclamation, because ecstasy, through ecstasy, if we are really experiencing ecstasy in that moment, we are in an intimate conversation with our soul.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I feel so uncomfortable, but that's why I like it so much. I like when people make it uncomfortable, so it's a good uncomfortable. I feel challenged, and probably I need to do something that I usually, if I'm uncomfortable, I need to do it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I'm so happy, and thanks for being so vulnerable in what makes you vulnerable, or what you think. And I really love this compared to our first one, where it was a little bit more like towards my experience. Now we had like a mutual experience share, and it's very nice, because probably a lot of people watching or listen to us, the likelihood that they are more over your side is bigger than on my side.
Oh yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for bridging words.
Well, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. And tell us, you want to share anything that's going on with you apart from yesterday?
Yeah. So tomorrow we have the Ecstatic Sunset. It's like a lot of people from all over the world come to us to do in ceremonial space of cacao, electronic dance. And it's at Udara. We've been doing this for 3 years every month, and it's like really transformational. And then Saturday we have our festival, which we do every month-ish, called Awaken Dreamers. That's where it was an evolution of the format that we do to ecstatic dance. And we have all the best ecstatic dances of Bali, which is a global ecstatic hub. Live music, OM Morabito, beachfront, everyone in white, angel wings, and all of that, kind of a heavenly archetype.
Yeah.
And in the shop, we're gonna have you come into the shop as well.
Yeah.
Awaken Dreamers Boutique in the heart of Ubud. And I look forward to have you guys experimenting, expressing your soul through the aesthetic expression.
Beautiful. And if you guys want to see me naked in a hat like that, subscribe, and who knows?
Yes.
We'll see what happens in a few years, me going to these ecstatic dances. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Amazing.